extraordinary music.
What's going on, Masterclass family? This is your boy, Mr. Adams, bringing you the Masterclass Black Friday trade of the day. Today's trade of the day is Baba, also known as Alibaba. Now, I asked for forgiveness in advance. Most of you know I've been sick for the last week or two, and so I may spontaneously call for something. I'll try to pause it so that you don't have to hear all of that. So I'll go through this video quickly to get the point across, and then we'll move forward from there. So Alibaba, today this stock was a 10 to 1. As you know, or if you don't know, when we are looking for a 5 to 1 opportunity, one of the biggest components is finding a stock that consolidated the day before yesterday. And consolidation the day before is usually a doji on a daily chart. If you are not familiar with doji, please refer back to the guide or just do a study on a doji candlestick. That's when you have equilibrium between buyers and sellers, and before a big move occurs. So if we look at Baba yesterday, Baba consolidated yesterday. Now, it wasn't perfect consolidation between 9:30 and 1 o'clock. It was somewhat range bound, but it was in a fairly tight range. And then in the afternoon, you can see that it really began to get tight. So much so that we had our gold setup. So you'll see me post in the chat room all the time something is gold married. Once again, if you need clarity, refer to the strategy guide because it's in there. I make it very simple and easy to understand. A gold is when you have all of the different moving averages tightly compressed together as if it's in one straight line. So this red line, that's the 200. The blue line is a 50. The purple line is a 20. The yellow line is a 10-day moving average, and the white line is a VWAP. All of these moving averages are tightly compressed together. It's rare for that to happen. It only happens on every so often. So when it happens, it's significant. So that's a gold. Okay. Now, coming over until today, this light gray shaded area, that's the pre-market. That's the hours that the market itself is closed. You can see that Baba is still gold. It's consolidating the entire morning. Not only is it consolidating, but it's married. What is married? Married is when you have a pivot point and a previous day's higher low level closely joined together. Excuse me, I'm fighting y'all. So here you have this pivot point, these red dots, and then you have the previous day's high, right? That's the gray line. They're tight together. That's married. When you have the pivot point, the red line here in this case, and the previous day's high together, that's married. So you have a gold married when you have all of these moving averages tightly together. The candlesticks is consolidating next to those moving averages that are compressed. And then you have gold married levels, previous day's high and a pivot point. That's gold married, right? That's an ideal setup. The next characteristic of this setup on a 5-minute chart, that is the regression channel. This is the lower regression channel, the middle, and the top regression channel. And you want to find opportunities to where the married levels are adjacent to or close to the middle regression channel. When you have that, that makes the upper regression channel a target for calls and a lower regression channel target for puts. It pretty much ensures that your stock has a chance to go higher without it hitting immediate resistance. Okay, so you got gold married situation close to a middle regression channel with the top regression channel as a potential target. The next thing we look for is dual money flow. So you can see the chalk in money flow here is positive. The money flow oscillator is somewhat positive as the market opens. And then on the bottom, we have the TTM wave. That's positive as well. Okay, the blue lines represents that it's positive on a longer term trend, and the red and yellow lines is positive on a shorter term trend. So for the most part, excuse me, you have four positives here between the dual money flows and the TTM wave. Then you have the gold Mary setup and the middle regression channel. This is a perfect ideal setup on a 5 minute. Thank you for bearing with me, family. As you can tell, I'm dying here trying to do this video, but I want to make sure that I get this information out. So next thing we want to take a look at is the multi-time frame window, and that's the 30-minute, 1 hour, a daily chart, and a naked 15 chart. On all four of these charts, I have a MACD, because what I want to make sure is that the MACD is consistent, or in this case, positive on all time frames. So I have a positive MACD here where the green is above the red on a 1 hour chart. Positive MACD here where green is above the red on a 30-minute. Positive MACD here on a 15. Green is above the red. And on the daily chart, I have a positive MACD where the green is above the red. That lets me know that in all time frames, the momentum is favored to go higher. I can easily see that. Doesn't take much thinking. On the 1 hour chart, excuse me, you can see here that you have a TTM squeeze for 2 to 3 days. Look at all that red. That's obvious. So you know that it's been consolidating. And when you look at the chart, you can see that the stock has been damn near in a straight line. That's consolidation. Plus, you have the Ichimoku cloud that's thin here as well, which further confirms consolidation. And you have candlesticks that are slightly above the Ichimoku cloud before the market opens, which is a positive sign. Not to mention that all of the moving averages on a 1 hour chart are tightly together as well. So you have a gold on a 1 hour chart. If we look above here on the 30-minute chart, look how tight the moving averages are with VWAP here. That's another gold. So you got a gold on a 5-minute, a 30-minute, and on a 1 hour chart, making it a no-brainer situation as it relates to the significance of this opportunity. Okay, on the 15-minute chart, I have no indicators so that I can see naked price action, and I can see if I zoom out that the high for BABA has been 202. When I called out BABA, the stock was around $2. So I knew that if it really broke out, this 202 level was my target. And because the 202 level was my target, I didn't have an issue with going slightly out of the money to purchase the 202 calls, which I purchased for 27 cents and ultimately hit $2.60 for a 10 to 1. But my point is, by using the naked chart on this 15-minute, I can clearly see price action to know where support and resistance is. It's clear that you have resistance here at 202 and support at 196.84. And if I, excuse me, zoom in a little bit closer, the immediate resistance here was 199.45. So the moment that the stock broke above 199.45, that was your entry signal. And you take a look at the, excuse me, the MACD. The MACD had already begun to turn positive before the market opened at 9:30, giving this move to you. If we take a look at the daily chart, once again, we have a positive MACD, and you have a positive TTM wave on a daily chart for both the long-term trend and a short-term, which adds more fuel to the fire. Not to mention, yesterday you had a doji, and that's how I found this. You see this here? That's a doji on the daily chart, and you have a rising 20 moving average, that's the purple, and a rising 10 moving average. And the 10 is above the 20. Um, and if you look closely, this is forming somewhat of a very small flag here. This could be the flag pole coming up, and then coming down would be your actual flag, and that's your breakout. The pattern tab here and here usually would have a wedge pattern or a triangle pattern, but there is no clear patterns here that the system caught. This is something that you had to clearly visualize for yourself. Okay, so don't make this harder than what it is. It's just a matter of being able to identify shapes and seeing if something is above or below something, and just knowing what that means. That's it. If we take a look at the options chain, the 202.50 calls opened up at 20 cents, hit a high of $2.60. That's that's an 11 to 1 move. The 200 calls were from 72 cents to $5. That's a 5 to 1. I took the 202.50s. I got in at 27 cents. I sold most of my position at 170 and sold the remaining contracts at about 210 to 220, somewhere around there, right? It's a huge move for a day trade, over 700%, and it was as high as a 10 to 1 on the remaining contracts, okay? So once again, what made this trade pop is the fact that we had a gold married setup, okay? Near the marriage is near the regression channel, dual money flow, positive TTM wave, and all of your stars aligned on your multi-time frame window. This is the most important window. The 15-minute, the 30, the 1 hour, and the daily, just to make sure that all of the stars are perfectly aligned together, telling the same story on different time frames, which will give you the biggest move of the day. And once again, you only need 6 of these trades in a row to change your life. And that can happen within a month if you train your eyes to identify these setups. Did the best that I could, consider my voice and my sickness. Wish you guys great success and the best of faith. Masterclass. Dominate.
SinBStyle.com